7 reasons why Muhammad married Aisha when she was only 9. Aisha was the youngest wife Muhammad had. She was betrothed to him when she was between 6 and 7. The marriage was consummated when she turned 9. It sounds disturbing, but let's try to look at it without our modern lenses on. 1. Times were different. 1400 years ago, it was common for young girls to marry. Some were as young as 9, like Aisha. This practice was widespread globally. People in Arabia had short lifespans. The average person lived just 40 to 60 years. So young girls were not seen as children. They were considered young women, ready for marriage. 2. The dream showed Aisha as Muhammad's destined wife. According to Sunni tradition, Muhammad had a divine dream. In it, he saw himself marrying Aisha. Muhammad said,
"If this is from Allah, it will be done."
Aisha came from a respected family in Mecca. Her father was one of Muhammad's closest companions. Her parents agreed to the marriage. She moved into Muhammad's home in Medina around 623 CE. 3. Muhammad did not marry out of physical desire. In fact, he spent the first 54 years of his life with a single wife, Khadija. She was a twice-widowed woman. She was also 15 years older than him. Muhammad spent his entire youth with only her. For the next 4 years, his only wife was Sauda, a widow with 6 children. He took Sauda and her children in. This shows he did not have selfish motivations. 4. Aisha never complained about being married to Muhammad. Despite their age gap, she grew very close to him. She was said to be his favorite wife. Muhammad's wives had diverse ages and backgrounds. Each pursued different interests. One cared for orphans. Another devoted herself to worship. This showed Muslims how to relate to all people. 5. Aisha had a lively personality. Muhammad embraced her spirit rather than silencing her. In turn, Aisha was candid and casual with him. She once lost track of her necklace during travel. Muhammad stayed behind to search for it. They had an easygoing chemistry. They once had a contest to see who was faster, she on foot and he riding a camel. Aisha ran fast, but Muhammad on the camel ultimately passed her. 6. Aisha was also exceptionally wise. Aisha spent years with Muhammad. She memorized thousands of his sayings and narrations. In total, Aisha narrated over 2,200 hadiths. She relayed these accounts to early Muslim historians. Later scholars used Aisha's hadiths in main collections. For example, she narrated a hadith about Muhammad's night journey. Her narrations were highly trusted. Muslim theologian Al-Shafi'i said,
"If the knowledge of Aisha were to be gathered up and then compared to the knowledge of all the living persons of her time, Aisha's knowledge would be greater."
7. Aisha became a respected scholar. People traveled for days just to visit and learn from her. She taught about the Quran, Islamic law, the Prophet's life, and poetry. Even caliphs and rulers consulted her. She was known as the mother of the believers.